With our October Sporting Collector Firearms auction and Halloween just around the corner, let's take a look at two vampire killing kits. So you can see that each of these kits has a different selection of accessories, but they're both built around a percussion pistol. The one on my right has a kind of standard Belgian box lock percussion pocket pistol. This is the kind of pistol you'll usually see in a lot of these kits. And then the one on my left is pretty unusual. This one is built around a very clearly custom made cross-shaped underhammer pistol, which we'll take a little more look at in a little bit here. But if you look at them, they contain the standard accoutrements of a muzzle-loading pistol in the case, but then they're also fitted to hold a bunch of other different accessories that you'd use for killing a vampire. So this one in the front, you can see pretty easily, comes with a nice big wooden stake for killing your vampires. A lot of them are going to have little vials with different things. This one's empty, but you can see it's like a little antique bottle, and it's labeled here on this trade label saying that it comes with Professor Blomberg's new serum. So a lot of these cases are going to be labeled as Professor Blomberg's vampire killing kits or something of that nature. There are some of the older ones. They're still 20th century, curiosities built after the vampire craze, after, the early Hollywood Dracula movies and things like that really popularized vampires in American culture. But they're all a little different, which makes them fun for collectors. They're obviously kind of eye-catching, especially when you get something like this where it's got a really unusual pistol in it. But let's take a look at the one on the right a little closer and see some of the more standard accoutrements you're going to find in one of these kits. So on the top shelf here, we've got a powder flask, we've got a percussion pocket pistol, and we've got a ball mold and a couple balls. You can also see there's a crucifix mounted here inside the lid, and there's actually a small little crucifix pendant down here in the case as well. So you can use that to ward off your vampire attacks. And this one, the top case pulls out, and then down in the bottom you've got a wooden stake. You've actually got two wooden stakes for driving through the heart of the vampire to kill them. So then down in the bottom here we've got some brimstone labeled as sulfur. We've got a vial labeled Professor Blomberg's new serum for his vampire killing kit. I don't know what the difference is between the different serums. We've got a powdered flowers of garlic, so another classic thing that's supposed to ward off vampires. And then we've got some holy water, so you can splash that in your vampire's face if you're fighting them. So the one on my right was a more kind of standardized kit. The one on the left is very unusual because of the type of pistol that's in this kit. At first, you pick this up and it looks like a very cool antique cross. But if I tip it towards you, you will see that it is a nice large caliber pistol actually. And then if you flip it over on the bottom, you can see the mechanism. So this is actually an underhammer mechanism. You pull this up and this is going to catch on this simple trigger. And there's a percussion nipple there. And then you pull back on the trigger and it's going to fire the gun. So it's a pretty simple mechanism, and it's kind of ingenious. Whoever designed this created it in such a way that it, first and foremost looks like a cross, especially when it's laying down in the case. It just looks like a cased cross, but it's actually a relatively large caliber pistol. And then also inside this case, we've got another nice large wooden stake for driving through the vampire's heart. We've got a powder flask, we've got a cap tin, ball mold, a little tincture bottle, and there's some balls which are labeled on the label here as silver, but these are just lead balls. And there's another compartment back here where you can put some more accessories. So you can see, if you look at these kits, especially if you ignore the labels, which have some kind of modern style fonts and printing, they very much look like a true antique. And as I mentioned at the beginning, most of the components in these, or at least most of the firearms related components in these cases, are actually antique components. But these were all created, with vampire enthusiasts and people who love the vampire stories in mind, and they definitely make an excellent piece for your collection, a nice conversation starter, and depending on what you're doing for Halloween this year, could make a nice, prop for a vampire hunter costume. You can find both of these vampire kits along with thousands of other firearms and edged weapons in our upcoming Sporting Collector Firearms auction.